Hello citizens, this is Councilor Gian-Carlo, Ward 9 TV. I'm standing on the southern flank of the amazing new public library. What an amazing building and what a beautiful bluebird day. It's minus 15, twice as warm as it was yesterday, so it feels balmy, and now you know we're real Calgarians. Inside the building today is the World Winter Cycling Congress, which is in 2019 is being held here in Calgary and is in the library. I've been able to go to a number of events, and I've got a number of events coming up. And I wanted to take this Ward 9 TV to talk about the state of cycling advocacy in the city of Calgary and something that's coming up on February 27th at Transportation and Transit Committee that the public will be able to weigh in on. So the first thing is the overview. There's some legitimate criticism about the amazing investment that we made in a cycle track network a couple of years ago, how that seems to have stalled and we're not finishing out the network and we're not building it. And there are some legitimate complaints about that, and we've got a political situation on council that's a little bit interesting and contested right now with regard to cycle infrastructure. But on the other hand, we're doing a lot of exciting things, and specifically we're doing exciting things in Ward 9. We just opened up the amazing connection between International Avenue and Inglewood, the new transit bridge on the Max Purple line. If you have not ridden it, ride it. It's amazing. I will be doing a ride with Cyclepalooza coming up, so check that out. The other thing is that we funded the 42nd Avenue multi-use path, the river to river from Elbow to the Bow, taking us through the Highfield industrial area where so many people work and bike to work and would like to bike to work, but there's no safe connections for cycling. That is funded in this year's in the next 2 years, and I'm excited to see that. That provides unparalleled access to the Barley Belt to the north, to the 11th Street cycle lanes to the south, and really sort of creates a river-to-river link that's going to be transformative, especially when the multi-use path in the Greenway along the Green Line comes in. The other thing that we're working on is the first east of the Deerfoot cycle track in the city of Calgary along 19th Avenue at the top of the Max Purple line. We'll be able to go from the edge of the escarpment all the way to like 48th Street in the heart of Forest Lawn, and it'll act as a real collector, getting people safely onto the multi-use pathway system, and specifically that incredible connector from East Calgary into the downtown. We're also working on 8th Avenue as a cycle corridor connecting the Max Purple line to the Traverse into Fort Calgary and the multi-use pathway system. And we're talking about 12th Street as a living street with the cycle track. All of that is in the works. So this is really bulking up our cycle track network, and we're really proud of that. The other thing that I want to talk about is what's coming up on February 27th at the Transportation and Transit Committee. Because we are now a chartered entity, the City of Calgary, we have more control over our traffic bylaws than we ever have before, and we are going to be bringing 5 rules into effect that are going to have a significantly positive impact on our ability to handle cycling. The first one is there's an archaic system of hand signs that exists right now. Now we're going to be able to just gesture, and that counts as hand signs. We have now the right to put in legal signage for cyclists, and we're going to be enacting that into law. We are going to be redoing the parking bylaw. So right now we cannot have legally a painted line and then park cars and then driving cars. And so we always put the cyclists on the wrong side, on the traffic side of the parked cars. With this change in how parking works in the bylaw, we'll be able to put the cyclists safely on the inside against the curb and allow the parked cars to be a barrier. We are changing the rules for angle parking. We're going to allow back-in angle parking, which has all the benefits of angle parking. It's an easier park, and most importantly, when you leave, you're not backing into cyclists because you've got a full line of sight. And there's a last one, I'm just going to lean in. Oh yeah, and then we're also beefing up the safe passing bylaw. That's going to really create a nice stick for those members of the drivers community who do not respect the cyclist on the road. We're going to create some tougher and harsher laws and clearer laws for what constitutes a safe pass. There is a sixth item that I was really hoping to see come into effect that is not on the docket, and I would love support from the cycle community, so I'm not the only guy who's complaining about this, and that's the concept of the Idaho Stop. The idea is that when you're driving a giant car and you have a stop sign, you should stop and look around and make sure that nothing's coming. If you're on a bike, you're out in the open, you can see everything coming, and the danger of stopping or of not stopping is really a lot lower. And they enacted that law in Idaho. It's called the Idaho Stop. It's the idea that bicyclists don't actually have to stop at stop signs. They can treat it more like a yield. It's a much more efficient way to go. That right now is not on the docket, and I would like to create some political movement so we can get it on the docket. So please, come out on February 27th, support the changes we're making. Let's start to create some movement for the Idaho Stop, and let's celebrate the advances we're making with regard to enhancing the cycle track network that we have. Thank you so much, and in honor of World Winter Cycling Congress here at the City of Calgary in 2019, this is Councillor Gian-Carlo signing off.